Have you ever seen a comeback that was so remarkable it defied all logic? Well, today we're going to talk about one of the greatest comebacks in boxing history, the incredible story of Vinny Paz. Vinny Pazienza is a name that'll forever be etched into the history books of boxing. His incredible comeback story after suffering a near-fatal car accident has gone down in the annals of sports as one of the greatest comebacks ever.
And there's the right, and Paul goes down.
From being told he would never walk again to becoming a world champion, this is an inspirational tale about perseverance, resilience, and determination that'll leave you wanting more. So join us as we take a look at Vinny Pazienza's remarkable journey back to greatness. Vinny Pazienza was born in Cranston, Rhode Island on December 16, 1962. He started boxing at the age of 10 and rapidly earned a reputation as a formidable competitor. By the time he was 18, he'd already won multiple Golden Glove titles and was being compared to boxing's greats like Roberto Duran. Pazienza went on to enjoy a successful professional career, where he became a two-time world champion in two different weight divisions. He won his first world title by defeating Luis Santana for the WBA Lightweight Championship in 1988. The following year, Pazienza achieved an even greater milestone by winning the IBF Super Middleweight Championship against Gilbert Dele after a punishing 15-round battle. His career highlights also include victories against boxers such as Aaron Barkley and Roger Mayweather, both of whom were undefeated prior to their fights with Pazienza. With 25 wins out of 27 fights, Vinny Paz had established himself as one of the greatest boxers of his time before his fatal car accident changed everything. This car accident occurred in 1991 after Pazienza had just finished his training for the fight against Lloyd Honeyghan. He was on his way back from a media event when he ran into the back of a parked truck at an intersection, resulting in him suffering a severe neck injury that left him unable to move his body from the neck down. He was rushed to the hospital, and medical professionals feared that he may never be able to walk or even move again. Pazienza underwent cervical fusion surgery, where 4 titanium plates were inserted into his neck along with 2 screws. This invasive procedure put Pazienza into a medically induced coma for 2 days, during which time doctors were unsure if he would survive or not, and slowly started to regain feeling in his body over the next few weeks. Despite being told by doctors that it was impossible and unsafe for him to return to boxing, Vinny Paz persevered and decided to resume training while wearing a custom-made neck brace.
I wanted people to know that I am okay, that I will survive this.
An act of courage and strength that stunned the world. Despite the risks, Pazienza defied the doctor's orders and started training again. He worked tirelessly, strengthening his neck muscles, which was a difficult task due to the titanium plates and screws inserted into his body. Paz also had to go through intense physical therapy sessions in order to regain full mobility and flexibility back in his neck. To make matters worse, he was required to wear a custom-made neck brace at all times as an extra precautionary measure. Yet, despite all these challenges, Paz kept on pushing forward with extraordinary willpower and determination. After months of hard work and dedication, he finally managed to resume boxing, much to the surprise of everyone around him. When Vinny Pazienza decided to go against doctors' orders and return to boxing, it was seen as a reckless move by some, especially since medical professionals had warned him that he could be risking further injury. However, Paz was undeterred and pushed himself to make a full recovery in an effort to reclaim his spot at the top of the world rankings. He started off slowly by taking part in light sparring sessions at first while wearing his custom-made neck brace at all times. As time went on, Pazienza gradually increased the intensity of his training and eventually fought his way back into the ring. Despite being advised not to compete until he had fully recovered, Paz made his triumphant return to the ring on March 15, 1992, where he faced off against Luis Santana, whom he had previously beaten for his WBA lightweight championship in 1988. The fight was an instant classic, as both men put on a show for the delighted crowd. In spite of all the doubts surrounding him prior to that bout, Vinny Paz proved everyone wrong with an incredible performance that earned him a unanimous decision victory over Santana. This comeback win marked Vinny's first major win since that horrific car accident, and provided him with enough confidence to take on more challenging opponents in subsequent fights. He went on to win 5 out of 6 bouts over the next 2 years, with victories against marquee boxers such as Barkley and Mayweather, which we said were already undefeated prior to the fights with Pazienza. By 1994, Vinny Paz had successfully regained full mobility and strength in his neck muscles, something that many thought would have been impossible after such a severe injury. And he went on to inspire countless fans around the world with his remarkable story of resilience and determination. Vinny Paz's journey is truly remarkable and has gone down in history as one of the sport's greatest comebacks ever. After his comeback victory, Vinny Paz went on to prove himself as one of the greatest boxers of all time. He fought and won 3 world titles, 2 IBF super middleweight titles, and a WBU lightweight heavyweight title. In 1994, Vinny Paz successfully beat Gilbert Dele for the IBF super middleweight title. This was his first major victory after coming back from the injury, and he cemented himself as a contender in the boxing world. His win against Dele was convincing, showing that even with an injured neck, he had what it took to compete at the highest level. Vinny Paz went on to defend that IBF super middleweight title twice in 1995 against Nate Miller and Joe Hipp. Both fights were well contested, with Paz demonstrating superior skill, technique, and endurance, leading him to successive victories against both opponents. On November 2, 1996, Paz then added to his accolades by winning the WBU Light Heavyweight Championship when he beat Eric Lucas by technical knockout in the 8th round at Foxwoods Resort Casino in Connecticut. This was a landmark victory for Paz, as it marked his 3rd world title across 2 different weight divisions, something no other boxer had achieved before him. It also demonstrated that he was still capable of competing even as a light heavyweight, which is much higher than where he originally competed during his career before his injury. He continued to fight regularly until 2004. Where he retired with an impressive record of 50 wins, 31 KOs, and 10 losses across a storied career spanning over 20 years. Vinny Paz's remarkable comeback story is one of perseverance and determination. Despite the odds being stacked against him, he was able to rise up and prove that anything is possible with hard work. He went on to become a 3-time world champion across 2 different weight classes, something no other boxer did before him. Showcasing his incredible skills as an athlete, his inspiring journey has left a lasting legacy in boxing history and will continue to be remembered for years to come. Thanks for hanging out with us on Vinny Paz's amazing comeback story. If you had a good time, please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.
You feel like a pupil at that point who was flunking and that you had to try to get an A?
Not at all. I had a bad night. These things happen.
Welcome back to a Boxing World Recap. On today's video, we're going to revisit one of the most epic fights in Tyson's career.
Does a big guy, does the fact that he was 6 foot 6 inches tall, not big in terms of weight, 211, but big in terms of height, do you feel have any effect on Tyson?
I believe so.
It's the night he fought the biggest and toughest man he'd ever faced, Jose Revolta. This giant of a man was one of the biggest fighters of his era, and certainly one of the toughest, as he made it through almost 10 rounds with the baddest man on the planet. Let's get right into it. 3 months before Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion in history by destroying Trevor Berbick in only 5 minutes.
Bangs the body, wow, that uppercut is Tyson, catches him with a right left hook, and he goes down! He goes down, he should be able to get up from this. His legs may be shut, they are, as Trevor Berbick falls
Jose Revolta faced the 20-year-old Tyson in 1986. Although it was expected that the Cuban-born Revolta would be simple pickings, he ended up giving Tyson one of his toughest nights by getting up from 3 knockdowns to fight back and carry on to the last round. So, who is Jose Revolta? And how did he give Mike Tyson such a tough time? Let's find out.
In Miami, Florida, Jose Revolta.
Jose Revolta made his professional debut in 1982, and he was so good that he had 10 straight wins. He eventually lost in 1983 to Ricardo Richardson by TKO in the 7th round. Revolta won 7 more fights after that. As he rose up the professional boxing rankings, Revolta supported himself by sparring with WBC champion Trevor Berbick and title challenger Jerry Cooney. His debut match on national television was against James Bonecrusher Smith in July 1985. Revolta lost by a split decision. The judge's choice infuriated the audience loudly.
A winner by a split decision, James Bonecrusher Smith.
And Revolta felt that he was robbed of the win. Revolta faced Marvis Frazier in September 1985. Frazier won by majority decision after a close fight. And in May 1986, he was knocked down by David Jaco, but he recovered and won by knockout in the 5th round. He didn't have the best run of fights leading to his match against Tyson, so the whole world was expecting the match to be over quickly enough.
When I looked at Jose Revolta's chances today, I found no chance. With all the ifs and whats and whys I could put together, I still found no way, Ray Leonard, that this man could win the fight.
Future journeyman Revolta had a 22-3-1 record before the fight, and among his defeats were a knockout loss in his 11th professional contest and a subsequent points loss to Marvis Frazier. The same Marvis Frazier, Smokin' Joe Frazier's son, who Tyson had dismantled in under a minute a month before.
Uppercut, and Marvis is hurt.
Frazier is down. Joe Cortez moves in to have a look, and he's going to stop the fight. It did not last 20 seconds.
Tyson looked more fiercer than normal when he entered that ring to face Revolta, snarling, sweat-drenched, and bare-chested. Although Revolta genuinely met Tyson's fierce pre-fight stare eye-to-eye, HBO analyst Larry Merchant summed up the mood when he said to TV viewers at the start of the bell, "Don't anybody go to the toilet or refrigerator. Mike Tyson has short working hours."
Okay, don't anybody go to the toilet or the refrigerator. Mike Tyson has short working hours. He punches in and punches out.
The fight was televised live from the Trump Plaza Hotel in Atlantic City, New Jersey on August 17, 1986. The WBA and WBC at the time ranked Tyson number 1 and number 2, while Jose Revolta was ranked 8 and 10, respectively. Throughout the fight, Tyson knocked down Revolta, who had a 6'5" frame, 3 times. The first was a right hook to the body, combined with an uppercut in round 2.
So counter right hand by Mike Tyson is invited.
And there was an uppercut. What a shot.
The next one came in round 8 when Tyson caught Revolta with a vicious left hook that put him through the ropes.
There is no spring.
And there's a smashing left hand. And wisely,
Finally, Tyson delivered another left in round 10, but Revolta managed to beat the count after 4.
a shot. And Revolta's down. He is up.
When the fight resumed, Tyson immediately barraged Revolta with powerful shots, and the referee Rudy Battle intervened to call time on the fight at 1 minute 37 seconds of the 10th and final round. The next round of shots from Tyson after he recovered from the 3rd knockout caught Revolta, who was leaning up against the ropes. After the ref intervened and awarded Tyson the victory, Revolta was clearly upset with the interruption.
The time, 1 minute and 37 seconds of the 10th round. Referee stops the bout, winner by TKO, Mike Tyson.
He looked like he was ready to keep going, but the whole night proved that he wasn't going to get anything from this match, as he could barely land a punch on Tyson. Following the bout, Tyson expressed displeasure with his performance.
So you're satisfied the way it came out in the end?
Most definitely.
And referred to it as a bad night. He had in his mind to come to fight, and I commend him, Tyson said afterwards. He fought back. He had the idea he was going to survive. He was hurt pretty bad, but I couldn't finish him. I was disappointed. I had a bad night, Mike Tyson said after the fight.
Well, why, if you knocked him down the second round, the 8th round, why couldn't you finish him?
Well, he was hurt pretty bad, and those are the breaks. I couldn't finish him.
You feel like a pupil at that point who was flunking and that you had to try to get an A?
Not at all. I just feel I had a bad night. These things happen.
Tyson was used to short working hours. This time, he was forced to engage in the final round of his match, which no one predicted before the fight. Tyson was able to end that match before the final bell in the final minute. I hit Jose Revolta with everything, and he took everything and kept coming back for more, marveled Tyson to Ring Magazine years later, when he claimed Revolta had the best chin of any boxer he'd fought. Tyson also called El Nino the physically strongest heavyweight he had shared the ring with, adding, "Revolta stood toe-to-toe with me. He was very strong in the clinches." Tyson handed out knockouts in the 80s like other people handed out business cards. His previous 4 opponents had each lasted a combined total of 5 rounds, and while James Quick Tillis and Mitch Blood Green had gone the distance against Tyson when he was a teen, they had done so by sabotaging and avoiding conflict Tillis and outright running Green. Tyson praised Revolta in his autobiography, Undisputed Truth, saying that Revolta was a game fighter who, unlike Green and Tillis, actually engaged me. Even hours after the fight, Revolta's body blows made me feel nauseous. I never felt that much general pain again. In round 2, the 6'5" Revolta, who towered over Tyson and was remarkably muscular, didn't follow the typical opponent pattern. Revolta nearly fell over after Tyson's vicious uppercut, but he stood back up at the count of 4 and survived the vicious follow-up to hear the bell. The foes of Tyson tend to succumb early, or through trickery and toughness, escape the early carnage. Nobody was hurt this badly early on and got up to make a fight of it, yet Revolta did, even earning a glare of disbelief from Tyson at the close of round 3. By the middle rounds, Revolta's strategy of surviving the early storm and advancing quickly was almost succeeding. When the sawn-off Brooklynite unleashed his own shots, he was slamming Tyson to the body, eating plenty of leather himself and catching Tyson with uppercuts. By round 8, the pro-Tyson audience was yelling, "Jose, Jose, Jose."
And the crowd, again, showing its both appreciation and support for Jose Revolta.
Because they were so moved by Revolta's rising success that only seemed to further enrage his rival. Revolta's gum shield flew into the Trump Plaza crowd in Atlantic City when Tyson finally broke through, slamming him to the ropes for a second knockdown. But Revolta got back up and looked like he'd make it through the 10-round fight until a monstrous left hook sat him down with minutes left to go in the final round. When the ref, Rudy Battle, asked Revolta if he wanted to continue fighting, his stone-cold response was emphatic. "Yeah, hell yeah."
Hey, how you doing? You want to continue? Yeah, okay.
Despite an anguished protest by Revolta that he could have made it to the final bell, Tyson leaped on him with more hooks, and the ref jumped in to end things. The final punch statistics revealed that Tyson, who was then in the prime of his career, had landed 220 blows, almost 100 of which were power shots. However, Revolta persisted with fighting back, and the stoppage in the 10th round was the latest KO Tyson would ever record in his career. For that reason, it was also among the legendary heavyweight's favorite knockouts. Unfortunately for Revolta, predictions from impressed pundits that he demonstrated he could be a top heavyweight contender proved erroneous. After losing to Tyson, he won 9 fights in a row, mostly against mediocre opposition, and at one point was campaigning for a rematch with Don King. However, between 1990 and 92, Revolta suffered 5 consecutive defeats, including a second-round KO at the hands of Frank Bruno in London.
That's a good right hand, and the man's right above me, and he's almost coming out on top of me. And down goes Revolta, and what are people going to say about that?
Before retiring in 1999 with a 38-17-1 record. For Tyson, the outcome was disappointing. He claimed that having to work hard to win was a vital part of his route to becoming the undisputed champion, and he saw the fight as a significant learning experience. Additionally, Tyson had demonstrated for the first time that he could maintain his strength late and stop a stubborn opponent. However, Revolta, a tall heavyweight with an unimposing record but a good jab and solid fundamentals, had shown how to make those weapons work against Tyson. It was a strikingly similar game plan to the one used by James "Buster" Douglas 4 years later, when he stunned the world by defeating Tyson.
Landing these, nice uppercut by Buster Douglas. Look at this! He's knocked down for the first time in his career. Mike Tyson hits the canvas. He's in big trouble. He's not gonna make it. Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Buster Douglas is the new heavyweight champion of the world.
Even if a distracted Iron Mike was much to blame for his own demise, as his life outside the ring spiraled out of control. But Tyson was still boxing's fastest rising star in 1986, and no fighter pushed him harder for a spectacular KO finish than unheralded, unknown Jose Revolta. What'd you guys think about Jose Revolta in this epic match? Why don't you let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and if you felt all of this, hit that like and subscribe, because we have some more great videos coming your way. See you on the next one. Who is the greatest MMA fighter of all time? Is it Jon Jones, whose legendary career has spanned over 3 decades? Welcome to the video, everybody, where we'll be exploring the life and career of Jon Jones. Considered by many to be one of the most influential figures in mixed martial arts history, we'll dive into his accomplishments and skill set that propelled him to greatness, as well as discuss why he's regarded so highly by fans and experts alike. So, let's get started and see if Jon Jones truly is the greatest MMA fighter of all time. As one of the original pioneers of MMA, Jon Jones is an absolute legend in the sport. He's been competing since the early days and rapidly rose to become one of the most fearsome competitors of all time. His impressive record includes multiple world titles, as well as numerous submissions, knockouts, and technical decision victories. What makes him so remarkable is his willingness to take on any challenge, no matter who his opponent is or how experienced they are. This fearless attitude, combined with his skill set, has made him a household name in the MMA world. Let's take a look at some of his greatest accomplishments. Jon Jones was born in the small town of Elmwood, California. He was always a fighter, literally and figuratively, as he got into more than a few street fights growing up. When he was 18, he discovered mixed martial arts and quickly fell in love with the sport. After years of training and competing, Jon Jones finally began to break into the mainstream. His fame quickly spread as he won fight after fight in spectacular fashion. He was known for his aggression, technical understanding, and most importantly, his never-give-up attitude. This combination of traits made him a fan favorite whenever he stepped inside the octagon. It wasn't long before Jon Jones became one of the top contenders in mixed martial arts. Every time he entered the ring, it was an absolute spectacle as opponents struggled to keep up with his lightning-fast pace and relentless attack style. Eventually, he managed to capture multiple world titles and defended them all successfully. He even took on and defeated some of the best fighters in the world, a feat that solidified his status as an MMA legend.
Give it up for Jon Jones!
The rise of Jon Jones to become one of the premier competitors in his weight class was nothing short of meteoric. His career continued to progress throughout the years, until he eventually became an MMA all-timer. Now let's take a look at some of Jon Jones's greatest moments in the octagon. One of Jones's greatest moments in the octagon was his fight against Lucas Phillips, which he won by submission. This was an incredibly intense match between two highly skilled fighters, but in the end, it was Jones who emerged victorious. This victory marked one of the most impressive performances of his career and cemented his legacy as a master of submissions. Jon Jones also had several memorable knockouts throughout his career. His fight against Peter the Slayer Johnson stands out in particular, a fight that he finished with a powerful punch to the face that left Johnson unconscious. This stunning performance showcased just how effective Jon's striking could be when utilized correctly. Finally, there's perhaps no better example of Jon Jones's tenacity and skill than his fight against Darren Wilson. After suffering a deep cut from an accidental elbow, most fighters would have called it quits. But not Jon. He continued to battle and eventually won by technical decision. This amazing feat is a testament to his incredible willpower and determination, as well as his impressive skill set. These are just some of the many memorable moments that Jon Jones has provided us with in the octagon. He truly is one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time and deserves our utmost respect for his accomplishments. Now, despite his many successes inside the octagon, Jon Jones has also been involved in a number of controversies outside of it. In 2018, he was arrested for a DUI and subsequently sentenced to 2 years probation. He was also accused of domestic violence in 2020, though charges were eventually dropped due to lack of evidence. This all paints a less than flattering picture, as such issues are not seen favorably by fans. Jon has never shied away from speaking his mind on various topics, some more controversial than others, which often leads to passionate debates between him and his critics. He is known for making bold statements that don't always sit well with everyone, but these same qualities have made him one of the most outspoken MMA fighters in the industry. Despite the controversies, Jon Jones still enjoys a large and devoted fan base who are willing to stand by him through thick and thin. They recognize his obvious talent in the octagon and appreciate the entertainment he brings to each fight. Whether you like him or not, there's no denying that Jon Jones is one of the most important figures in modern MMA history. The legacy of Jon Jones is one that'll live on forever in the world of mixed martial arts. His accomplishments inside the octagon are unparalleled and have earned him a place among the sport's greatest fighters. He's also become an iconic figure, with countless fans following his every move and eagerly awaiting his next fight. His courage to speak up for what he believes in has inspired thousands of people across the globe and will no doubt continue to do so for many years to come. Jon Jones's impact on MMA cannot be overstated. He's broken countless records and achieved unprecedented success, setting a new standard for up-and-coming fighters to strive towards. His immense talent, tenacity, and determination have earned him the respect of his peers and made him one of the most iconic figures in MMA history. The legacy of Jon Jones is one that'll never be forgotten. It'll live on long after he leaves the octagon as an inspiration to generations of aspiring athletes who dream of achieving greatness as he has. He may not always make the right decisions or say the right things, but his passion for the sport is undeniable and truly admirable. Jon Jones will go down as a legend in MMA, and we can all stand proud knowing that our sport was blessed with such an incredible individual. Now, from what we just talked about,
Gustafson's in trouble. That's it.
Jon Jones is undoubtedly one of the most successful and iconic figures in MMA history, achieving incredible amounts of success inside that octagon, breaking records.
Jones is the youngest champion!
And setting a standard for up-and-coming fighters to strive towards. But is Jon Jones the greatest MMA fighter of all time? Many will argue that Jon surpasses his predecessors due to his accomplishments, skill set, and unique characteristics. He is known for his technical prowess, unwavering determination, and impressive willpower, traits which have earned him victory after victory both inside and outside the octagon. His outspoken nature also adds another level of intrigue, as fans are always eager to see what he has to say next. Other contenders for the title of GOAT include some of the sport's most legendary names, such as Anderson Silva, Georges St. Pierre, and Fedor Emelianenko. Each of these fighters has made an indelible mark on MMA history, all of them bringing something unique to the table, making them stand out from the rest. At the end of the day, determining who is truly the greatest MMA fighter of all time is a subjective matter, and one that cannot be objectively answered. It really comes down to personal preference and opinions. How about you? Do you prefer Jon Jones's technical prowess? Or perhaps Anderson Silva's agility in the octagon? No matter what your opinion may be, it's hard to deny each of these legends has made an incredible impact on MMA history and will continue to be revered for many years to come. So let us know, is Jon Jones the greatest MMA fighter of all time? It's really up to you to decide. If you had a good time, like, subscribe, and comment down below on who you think the GOAT of MMA is. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
And I'm sure I could beat the champion. I'm sure I could beat him also.
Of the 3 champions, who would you like to fight and why?
I'd fight anybody my trainer put me in with because I'm confident I could beat any fighter in the world.
Welcome to Boxing World, the ultimate destination for all things boxing. Today we're taking a trip down memory lane to relive one of the most iconic moments in the sport's history, the professional debut of Mike Tyson.
Now entering the ring, the local favorite, Mike Tyson, entering as the Warrior.
Are you ready to witness the beginning of an era, the night when a young Mike Tyson stepped into the ring and took the boxing world by storm? Get ready for the ride of your life as we relive the debut of the youngest heavyweight champion of all time.
I never get frustrated because I know we have a 10-round limit.
As a young boxer, Tyson quickly made a name for himself in the amateur ranks.
Here we go.
Bombs away, Jimmy.
Winning multiple titles and impressing everyone with his raw power and fierce determination.
You tell me what you're going to do tomorrow. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to jab to the head, then I'm going to throw 8 to the body, and then I'm going to move after I hit and punch the body. What are you going to do when you get inside? I'm going to open up like a son of a bitch.
He was only 18 years old when he won the Junior Olympic gold medal.
That's right. He's giving it. The towel's coming in. Look at old Tyson jump on the ropes. That is it. They threw the towel in. Mike Tyson becomes the 16th man to win a gold medal here at the 1982 Junior Olympic Boxing Championships in Colorado Springs.
And by the age of 20, he had already set his sights on becoming a professional. A name for himself as one of the top prospects in the sport, but it was his professional debut that really put him on the map, and to this day, it's still considered one of the most exciting and unforgettable moments in boxing history. On March 6, 1985, Mike Tyson made his professional debut against Hector Mercedes in Albany, New York. The fight was scheduled for 4 rounds, and it was clear from the opening bell that Tyson was a force to be reckoned with. As soon as the bell rang, Tyson came out firing, throwing powerful punches with both hands. Mercedes tried to defend himself, but it was clear that he was outmatched. Tyson's power was simply too much for him to handle, and it was only a matter of time before he went down. In the first round, Tyson landed a massive right hand that sent Mercedes crashing to the canvas. The referee counted to 10, and the fight was over. Just 30 seconds into the first round, Mike Tyson had made a statement to the world, and everyone knew he was a fighter to watch. The crowd erupted in cheers as Tyson celebrated a victory, and it was clear that he was destined for greatness. In the following months and years, Tyson continued to dominate the heavyweight division, winning fight after fight with his incredible power and speed. He quickly climbed the ranks, and by 1986, he was fighting for the WBC Heavyweight Championship. In November of that year, he faced Trevor Berbick for the title, and he emerged victorious, becoming the youngest heavyweight champion of all time at the age of 20. From that night, Tyson continued to make headlines and capture the attention of the entire sports world. He had a fierce and intimidating style in the ring, and his opponents were often intimidated before they even stepped into the ring. He had a string of knockout victories.
And he's going to do it in the 6th because he's only midway through, and this is the way he finishes him off now. The master of the the finishing stuff. What a fighter, absolute ferocious, and what a game man.
And he quickly became known as Iron Mike and the baddest man on the planet.
The undisputed, the undefeated Iron Tyson.
As he continued to dominate the heavyweight division, Tyson's fame and fortune grew. He became a household name and a cultural icon, and he was featured in movies, TV shows, and video games. He was also popular outside of the ring, known for his flashy cars, jewelry, and entourage. But Tyson's career was not without its setbacks. He was often plagued by personal and legal troubles, and he had a tumultuous relationship with the media. In 1992, he was convicted of rape and sentenced to prison, and he didn't fight for nearly 4 years. When he was released, he returned to the ring, but he wasn't the same fighter he'd been before. He lost his title in a shocking upset to James Buster Douglas.
Buster's landing these. Oh, nice uppercut by Buster Douglas. Look at this. He's knocked Mike Tyson down for the first time in his career. Mike Tyson hits the canvas. He's in big trouble. He may not be able to recover. It's up to 7 and 8. He's not gonna make it.
And he struggled to regain his form. He had several comeback attempts, but he was never able to recapture the same level of success that he had earlier in his career.
Again, Bruno momentarily turns up on the court by 3-4-5 punch combination. Right uppercut starting in. Bruno's in desperate trouble. It's going to be stopped. It's over. Bruno's lost his title.
Despite the ups and downs of his career, Mike Tyson will always be remembered as one of the greatest boxers of all time. His professional debut was the beginning of an era, and it set stage for one of the most exciting and memorable careers in the history of the sport. Here at Boxing World, we thank you for joining us on the journey down memory lane, reliving the debut of Mike Tyson. We hope you enjoyed the trip to the past, and we're looking forward to bringing you more exciting boxing content in the future. Until then, stay tuned to Boxing World for all the latest news, highlights, and analysis from the world of boxing. Once again, thanks for watching. See you next time. They called him the Manasseh Mauler, and he dominated the boxing world like no other heavyweight. But who was Jack Dempsey? And why is his legacy still celebrated by fight fans and historians alike? In the history of boxing, a few names are as legendary as Jack Dempsey. With his fierce fighting style and record-breaking victories, Dempsey became the face of heavyweight boxing in the 1920s and 30s. But what was it about Dempsey that made him stand out from the rest? Was he truly the greatest heavyweight of the 20th century? Join us today as we explore the legacy of Jack Dempsey and delve into what made him the greatest heavyweight of the 20th century. Let's get started. Early in life, Jack Dempsey was already showing signs of being a unique individual. Born in Manasseh, Colorado on June 24, 1895, to a family of Irish immigrants, he became known as Kid Blackie due to his jet black hair. As a child, he had 2 jobs, working as a part-time blacksmith and delivering mail by horseback, and attending school only sporadically. At the age of 16, Dempsey left home and began to drift across the country, where he worked various odd jobs such as cattle herding, lumberjacking, and railroad construction. It was during this period that Dempsey began his boxing career, which would ultimately take him to stardom. He fought under several different aliases in order to keep his true identity hidden from potential opponents who might otherwise be intimidated by his success. Dempsey eventually made it back home to Colorado and quickly gained notoriety for his fighting prowess. In 1914, at 19 years old, he won the World Middleweight Championship at the Grand Coliseum in Salt Lake City, when he knocked out reigning champion Fred Fulton in less than 3 rounds. His victory set him up for even more extraordinary achievements in the years ahead and established him as one of the greatest boxers of all time. Dempsey made his professional debut in 1914 and was undefeated for the first 7 years of his career. The championship fight between Jack Dempsey and Jess Willard is one of the most iconic boxing matches in history. On July 4th, 1919, Dempsey stepped into the ring to face an opponent who was larger, stronger, and had a longer reach. Jess Willard had been a champion before, and he was confident that his experience would be enough to defeat the younger challenger. But just 3 rounds into the fight, it was clear that Dempsey's power and strength were too much for Willard to handle. In total, he was knocked down 7 times over the course of 2 minutes and 4 seconds, and was eventually declared unable to continue by the referee. The fight cemented Jack Dempsey's status as one of the greatest heavyweight boxers in history, a title he still holds today. His dominance over Jess Willard has become legendary, with many experts noting that Dempsey's performance showed an extraordinary combination of speed, agility, and power, qualities that are rarely found together in such an impressive package.
He's knocked out, and he's hardly strength enough to rise and shake hands with his conqueror.
Jack Dempsey's victory over Jess Willard on July 4, 1919, remains one of the most memorable events in sporting history. During his championship reign, Dempsey defended his title 6 times and had notable victories against challengers such as Georges Carpentier, Luis Angel Firpo, Tommy Gibbons, Jack Sharkey, and Gene Tunney. Between 1916 and 1927, Dempsey participated in 77 fights with 68 victories, 51 by knockout. Dempsey's fame reached unprecedented heights with his long count fight against Luis Firpo in 1923. This fight saw Dempsey knocked down by Firpo before recovering and eventually winning by knockout, establishing himself as a bona fide superstar in the process. He was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1990 for his remarkable achievements during his boxing career.
The International Boxing Hall of Fame.
In addition to being one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, his impact on the boxing world is still prominent today. Dempsey was a larger-than-life figure who symbolized what it meant to be a champion both inside and outside the ring. He'll always be remembered as one of the most influential figures in boxing history, and one of the greatest heavyweight champions of the 20th century. Dempsey revolutionized the sport with his aggressive style and relentless pursuit of victory. He fought with high-octane energy and determination that thrilled audiences around the world. His most legendary fights were against Luis Firpo and Gene Tunney, 2 fighters whose reputations were bolstered by their battles with Dempsey. He also played a major role in popularizing televised boxing matches, growing the audience of fans, and making it one of the most watched sports in history. On top of that, Dempsey was also a major figure in other facets of modern boxing culture. His flair for showmanship influenced generations of fighters who followed him, many of whom adopted similar theatrics for their own pre-fight routines. His rivalry with Gene Tunney served as an inspiration for films like Raging Bull and Cinderella Man, which helped introduce new fans to boxing's rich history. And today, there are still countless boxers carrying on Jack Dempsey's legacy by competing with his trademark intensity and passion for competition. Overall, Jack Dempsey stands out as one of the all-time greatest heavyweights due to both his achievements in the ring and his lasting influence outside it. In many ways, he's changed the face of boxing forever, a fitting legacy for one of its biggest stars. The retirement of Jack Dempsey from the world of professional boxing was a bittersweet moment for many fans. After a long and successful career, he announced his decision to retire in 1927 due to age and health-related issues. This marked the end of one of the greatest heavyweight champions of the 20th century. As the undisputed heavyweight champion of the 20th century, Dempsey was a symbol of power and strength, inspiring generations of aspiring boxers to achieve greatness. He made history by becoming the first boxer to ever earn more than $1 million for a single fight, when he faced off against Georges Carpentier in 1921. Dempsey's powerful right-hand punch earned him the nickname the Manasseh Mauler, which still resonates today amongst boxers and fans alike. But his legacy extends beyond just his boxing records. He was well known for his generous acts outside of the ring, such as donating money to those affected by Great Depression and getting involved in humanitarian causes around the world. Additionally, he opened up a number of restaurants alongside movie mogul Darryl F. Zanuck and Broadway star Eddie Dowling, where he served traditional home-style cooking. His charisma and impact outside of the ring were so great that he helped shape boxing to become the global sport it is today. Ultimately, Jack Dempsey is remembered as one of the greatest boxers of all time, and his legacy lives on through generations that continue to idolize him. His story inspires those who strive for greatness, showing them that success can come out of even the most difficult situations when you put your heart and soul into it. Like and subscribe, and comment down below if you think Jack Dempsey is a boxing GOAT or not. Be sure to press the bell icon for more videos like this, and like always, thank you for watching. From the streets of Dublin, Ireland to the global stage, Conor McGregor has carved his path with unparalleled charisma, exceptional fighting skills, and a relentless drive for success. Known for his brash personality and explosive fighting style, McGregor's rise to prominence captivated audiences worldwide. Conor McGregor's journey began in the modest neighborhood of Crumlin, Dublin, where his passion for combat sports ignited at a young age. Despite his humble upbringing, McGregor's love for fighting was deeply ingrained within him. Influenced by his Irish roots and family, he developed a strong affinity for martial arts, particularly in the realm of mixed martial arts or MMA. McGregor wholeheartedly embraced the sport, dedicating himself to honing his skills and fostering an unwavering determination that would propel him to extraordinary heights. McGregor's path to fame was not without obstacles.
Taekwondo, karate, jiu-jitsu, it's just a pure combat.
As he climbed the ranks in the Ultimate Fighting Championship or UFC, many doubted his abilities, dismissing him as a brash talker. However, McGregor's unwavering determination and undeniable charisma quickly silenced his critics. A pivotal moment came in July 2014 when he faced Diego Brandao in Dublin.
So let's go over to the tail of the tape for this main event, which is sponsored by EA Sports UFC. Wow, here it is, Dan. The main event of the evening. Leon Roberts draws the assignment.
McGregor's explosive striking skills allowed him to defeat Brandao in the first round, captivating Irish fans and solidifying his place in the UFC.
That is it! It is all over and Conor McGregor is victorious! The crowd go absolutely wild!
With each triumph, McGregor's popularity skyrocketed. His magnetic personality, quick wit, and memorable one-liners made him a media darling. Press conferences and interviews featuring McGregor became must-see events, as fans eagerly anticipated his bold predictions and captivating verbal exchanges. McGregor's unfiltered confidence and relentless self-promotion set him apart from his peers, making him a captivating figure in combat sports. In 2015, McGregor's rise continued with a decisive win against Dennis Seaver.
In a span of just 2 years, this young man has gone from relative unknown to superstardom around the world,
setting the stage for his title aspirations. Displaying precision striking, he defeated Seaver in the second round.
Conor McGregor stops Dennis Seaver.
The notorious Conor.
This victory paved the way for his highly anticipated fight against featherweight champion Jose Aldo in December 2015.
The most highly anticipated featherweight fight of all time.
Aldo held the title for nearly a decade, remaining undefeated all those years. The clash between the dominant champion and the audacious upstart captivated the MMA community. McGregor, fueled by unwavering self-belief, confidently predicted a first-round knockout and taunted Aldo, earning the nickname Mystic Mac for his apparent ability to foresee fight outcomes. The anticipation reached its peak, and when the moment arrived, McGregor wasted no time. Just 13 seconds into the first round, he landed a devastating left hook, knocking Aldo out and ending his reign. McGregor's victory not only secured him the featherweight title, but also established him as an electrifying and dominant figure in the UFC. His triumph propelled him to unprecedented heights of success. Following his success in the featherweight division, McGregor set his sights on conquering the lightweight category. In a historic feat, he faced off against Eddie Alvarez.
Champion against champion.
At Madison Square Garden in November 2016. The highly anticipated bout marked McGregor's opportunity to become the first fighter in UFC history to hold titles in 2 weight classes simultaneously.
Undisputed UFC lightweight champion of the world, the Notorious.
With the world watching, McGregor displayed his exceptional skill set and unparalleled confidence inside the octagon. From the opening bell, he unleashed a relentless onslaught of strikes, showcasing his precision and devastating power. Alvarez struggled to find answers to McGregor's offensive onslaught, unable to withstand the Irishman's relentless pressure. As the fight progressed, McGregor's dominance became increasingly evident. With each well-timed punch and calculated movement, he dismantled Alvarez's defenses. In the second round, McGregor connected with a thunderous left hand that sent Alvarez crashing to the canvas. The referee swiftly stepped in to stop the fight, declaring McGregor the winner by knockout. And history was made, becoming the first ever fighter to hold world titles in 2 different weight classes. Conor McGregor, a legend of the sport. Beyond McGregor's accomplishments in the world of mixed martial arts, his audacity and hunger for new challenges led him to venture beyond the boundaries of the MMA octagon.
And he loves to play it up. He's always hammed it up for the cameras and always played up the bill.
One of the most notable highlights of his career was the extraordinary showdown against the undefeated boxing legend, Floyd Mayweather Jr. McGregor's decision to step into the world of boxing was met with skepticism. Many doubted his ability to transition seamlessly from the complex and multifaceted world of MMA to the singular artistry of boxing. Yet McGregor's unwavering self-belief and tireless work ethic pushed him to embrace this immense challenge head-on. In 2017, McGregor and Mayweather engaged in a highly anticipated cross-discipline fight that transcended the realms of both MMA and boxing. The crowd, a diverse mix of boxing purists, MMA enthusiasts, and casual sports fans, held their collective breath, unsure of what they were about to witness. McGregor's unorthodox footwork, explosive power, and relentless forward pressure showcased the hallmarks of his MMA career, while Mayweather relied on his precision, defensive mastery, and counter-punching brilliance. To the surprise of many, McGregor held his own against the seasoned boxing champion. In the early rounds, his unorthodox approach and powerful punches found their mark, challenging Mayweather in ways he hadn't anticipated. In the later rounds, Mayweather's accuracy and defensive tactics started dismantling McGregor's offensive assault. Ultimately, it was a technical knockout that sealed McGregor's fate. Despite the loss, McGregor's performance in the ring was remarkable and earned him the respect of boxing aficionados and critics alike. He had defied all expectations and proven that his skills and mindset transcended the boundaries of a single discipline. The fight against Mayweather not only showcased McGregor's adaptability and fighting spirit, but also elevated his global stature. His fearlessness in taking on Mayweather, a legendary figure in boxing, propelled him into the mainstream consciousness, transcending the confines of combat sports. McGregor became a symbol of ambition, inspiring athletes from various disciplines to push their limits and challenge the established norms. Beyond the ring, McGregor's encounter with Mayweather opened doors to new opportunities. It paved the way for lucrative business ventures, endorsements, and media appearances, solidifying his status as a global sports icon.
He should have killed me when he had the chance, because now I'm back and I'm going to kill you and your whole fucking team. You and them bitch kids.
Now McGregor's journey hasn't been without its setbacks. His rivalry with Nate Diaz proved to be a defining chapter in his career. The first encounter between McGregor and Diaz took place at welterweight, a weight class outside McGregor's usual division. Despite his initial confidence, McGregor faced adversity as Diaz weathered his early assault and came back with a relentless attack. McGregor ultimately succumbed to a rear naked choke. suffering his first UFC loss. This defeat served as a wake-up call and fueled McGregor's determination to avenge his loss. The rematch held at welterweight was a grueling 5-round battle that showcased McGregor's resilience and adaptability. Despite facing significant adversity, McGregor emerged victorious in a majority decision, solidifying his status once again as a true warrior. The clash between McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov was one of the most highly anticipated fights in MMA history. The bout was mired in personal animosity and heated exchanges leading up to the event. McGregor, known for his psychological warfare, pushed the boundaries with his trash-talking, making the fight intensely personal. In the fight itself, Khabib's superior grappling skills proved decisive as he smothered McGregor with relentless ground control, ultimately submitting him in the 4th round with a neck crank. However, the post-fight chaos marred the event when a brawl erupted between the two fighters' teams. The incident further highlighted the complexities of McGregor's career, drawing attention to the controversies that surrounded him. McGregor's journey has been fraught with setbacks, both in and out of the octagon. Legal troubles, such as the bus incident that resulted in criminal charges, threatened to overshadow his accomplishments. His career has not been perfect, and that's what makes him so great. Even with all the setbacks and losses, he's never given up and still lived in the hearts of fans as a legend. McGregor's ability to bounce back from adversity and reclaim his position as one of the top fighters in the world is a testament to his greatness. The legend of Conor McGregor wouldn't be complete without his iconic trash talk. McGregor possesses a gift for verbal warfare as potent as his strikes inside the octagon. His ability to captivate audiences with his razor-sharp tongue and audacious statements has become an integral part of his persona and his rise to global stardom. From pre-fight press conferences to post-fight interviews, McGregor seized every opportunity to verbally assault his opponents, igniting a firestorm of anticipation and intrigue. But his trash talk goes beyond mere theatrics. It serves a purpose. McGregor aims to get under his opponent's skin, disrupt their mental equilibrium, and create a psychological advantage. He dissects his adversaries, probes their weaknesses, and exploits any perceived vulnerabilities. McGregor's verbal onslaught can be so relentless that it leaves his opponents rattled and emotionally unstable even before they step foot inside the octagon. It often carries over into the fight itself. By provoking his opponents, McGregor forces them to fight on his terms, capitalizing on their frustration or anger. It becomes a mind game, an additional layer of strategy that McGregor employs to gain the upper hand. Love him or loathe him, McGregor's trash talk cannot be ignored. It's become an integral part of his brand and his legacy. McGregor's ability to generate buzz, capture the attention of the media, and captivate fans with his audacious predictions, and let's not forget those captivating verbal exchanges, is a testament to his charisma and showmanship. Conor McGregor's impact on the sport of mixed martial arts transcends his victories and controversies. He's become a catalyst for change, revolutionizing the way fighters promote themselves and ushering a new era of entertainment and spectacle. McGregor's brash personality and gift for self-promotion have propelled him to unprecedented heights of fame and fortune. His ability to captivate the audience with his bold statements, charismatic persona, and unfiltered confidence has attracted a legion of fans from around the world. But his impact goes beyond mere popularity. He's inspired a new generation of fighters who look to him as a trailblazer and role model. McGregor's audacity, work ethic, and unwavering self-belief have become a blueprint for success in the sport. Young fighters now strive to emulate his fearless approach, both inside and outside the octagon. His influence extends beyond the sport itself. He's reshaped the landscape of combat sports, elevating MMA to new heights of mainstream recognition and acceptance. McGregor's ability to captivate not only MMA fans, but also casual viewers, has widened the sport's appeal and brought it into the spotlight. He's elevated the sport to a level where it competes with popularity of traditional combat sports like boxing. Conor McGregor's contributions to the sport of MMA cannot be overstated. He has redefined the concept of showmanship, transforming fights into events, and captivating audiences with his larger-than-life personality. Conor McGregor's journey from Dublin to global superstardom has been nothing short of extraordinary. His electrifying fights, charismatic personality, and ability to captivate audiences have solidified his status as a legend in the world of combat sports. Despite the controversies that have surrounded him, McGregor's impact on the sport and his enduring legacy is undeniable. As the story of his career continues to unfold, McGregor's place in the annals of MMA history is secure, leaving an indelible mark on the sport and inspiring fighters around the world.